Hey Jacob, see my tavern I made? Pretty nice, bringing in a lot of revenue for the city.
That tavern is puny. And have you checked out your neighbors? Everybody in their city has a tavern. You know, what you really need is a harbor. That's something that can really bring you in the finest mead in all the lands. And just to keep you from stealing mine, have you checked out my new watchtower?
Watchtower? Really? You don't even have an army. I built an entire barracks to train up people to protect our city. So, you know, we got that, plus we have a temple for everyone to pray for safety and well-blessing on our harvest.
A temple with nobody to lead it? What you really need is a cathedral that comes with a bishop. Have you even looked for one of those? Come on, Craig.
Details.
And you know what? You can't even say, "Thanks, Your Excellency." Try it.
Thanks, your
This week's review, Citadels.
Let's go over the gameplay. You will have a deck of cards that you will use to help build your city. You also have 8 to 9 possible characters that you will use. The 9th character adds different rules and different specifications that you may need to check the rulebook for. To start the game, you'll want to pass out 4 cards to each player face down. Those cards are their hand. After this, each player will take 2 gold pieces, and that's their starting gold. Now, the crown. Whoever has the crown is the king. They actually get to determine how the pace of the game goes. You cannot take your turn until the king calls your number. You cannot go before, and you can't go after. Now, the king, by the rules, starts off with whoever is the oldest. This usually means I get to start as the king of my group. They all make fun of me for being grandpa, but at least when it comes to this game, I get to be the king.
Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
Now, also, after you've played a lot of times with a group of friends, you may want to decide a different way to determine who starts as king, just to add a little bit of flexibility to the game. These are your 8 character cards. Start off with number 1, your assassin. 2, your thief. 3, magician. 4, king. 5, bishop. 6, merchant. 7, architect. And 8, warlord. Each round, these cards will be shuffled. At least one will be discarded face down. And whoever is the king is the one who starts the round. They will go through and choose which role they want, such as the architect. They will then hold up the rest of the cards and hand them to their left, because most games go clockwise. The next person will then choose their card, and so on, till every player has a character. The last player will receive just 2 cards, and this helps it make so the second to last person doesn't automatically know who the last person is. So it gives at least a little bit of hidden identity to that last player. These tokens can be or may be left out, but these are just able to be played in the middle so everyone can see which characters are in this game. Because as we said, there are expansions that have different character roles. Once you have your roles assigned, you will then You will then wait on the king. The king determines the pace of the game, like I said before. So if I was the king, I'd say number 1. You don't call the role of the character, you just say the number. If someone is the assassin, who is the number 1 card, will then flip their card over, revealing who they are. It is now their turn. They must follow the rules of how a turn is to be played, such as you can gather resources. You can either take 2 gold from the bank, or you can draw 2 district cards and then place one of them on the bottom of the deck. Your second thing you can do is you can build. You can only build 1 district unless a character card says otherwise, or a special district allows you extra build. And then finally, you can use your character ability. The assassin will call out a character, not a number, and not a person. So that's what these can be helpful for, in case you forget the names. Say, I want to assassinate the bishop. Now, when the king does call number 5, kings usually won't last too long on there, knowing they've been assassinated. Number 5, number 6, and allows the game to keep moving in a decent manner. And you will go through each number, 1 all the way through 8, or 9 if you do have the 9th card. And once that round's over, all the character cards will be taken up, shuffled, and start a new round. When the king card is played, the crown will shift to whoever. You don't wait to the end of the turn, you shift it immediately. So if I was the king and Jacob was here playing, and he revealed he had the king card, as soon as I say 4 and he flips it, the crown now goes to him, and he now determines the pace of the game. Now that we have the pacing and how a turn flows and a round flows, let's get on to the objective of how to win. You win by having the most points at the end of the game. But to do this, someone must build 7 structures in their city, unless another card specifies they can build 1 less. When scoring, you have multiple ways to score points. For each district you have built, they will have these little coins on the side of them. So the prison is worth 2 points, whereas the barracks is worth 3. So at the end of the game, you will add up all these, and that will go towards your score. If at the end of the game you have 1 of each color, a blue religious district, a green trader district, a purple unique district, red or war district, and a yellow royal district, you will get bonus 3 points. Also, the first person to finish their city will receive 4 points. Anybody who else completes their city, so in that same turn, gets their 7th district, they will receive 2 points for that. These purple unique districts can also have bonus points on them, so just make sure you read that when you're scoring. The last thing I do want to cover with these cards is these colored districts have more value than just when adding points for bonus at the end of the game. If you are the king, who has the royal symbol by him, on your turn, for each royal district in your city, you will get 1 extra gold. That does not mean if you have the crown, it means if you reveal as the king. Same happens with the other cards. The bishop gets a bonus gold for each religious district. The merchant will receive bonus coins for each trade district, and the warlord will gain extra for each war district. Now that we have a basic understanding of the game, how about we head over to the review? Alright guys, let's get on to the review. Jacob, On Citadels, what would you give it for artwork?
Artwork, love it. I think it's a really good piece of work from this artist, which I probably should name right here. Thanks, post-production team. I give it a really good 8. I think some of the character cards, specifically when you're going through all of the different roles and the king's calling out numbers, the cards that you actually flip over, I think those are called player cards, yeah. They do really good. There's a lot of detail in them. So a lot of the costumes and outfits that the characters are wearing, the artist took a lot of time to put a lot of details.
Yeah. Well, honestly, during this time, as you were talking about it, I was actually going to knock some points off on it for the fact that, every tavern looks the same. But as you're talking, I was thinking that's actually a good thing because the whole goal of this game is to be the best builder. So having a card that looks different than another representing the same thing, I mean, granted, there's no judge for this, but it keeps everything on that same playing field. I really do like the lay of this. I'm still just gonna give them a 7 though. It is really pretty. There are a lot of different unique cards, but I don't know. I do kind of wish there was a little variation on the different cards.
Sure, I think, but even though later in the game when you're going back and scoring everything kind of looks consistent. Maybe that helps out.
Yeah.
So you're not like, what is that again? Is that a docks or a barracks or?
True.
So I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So then on to components.
Not a whole lot of components
There's
with
not.
this game. The cards are made of a good cardboard. Yeah.
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 And then, I mean, I do really like that, the little gold pieces, they are just standard cheap gold pieces, but, I mean, not real gold pieces. They're plastic. Don't get excited and think you're going to make money off buying this game. But
If you get Nick's edition, though, there's some random pennies in it. You might become a rich man in pennies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But cool thing too, the crown in your edition. My edition
Yes.
does not have the crown, but the little rubber crown piece, that's a really cool touch.
hey, Nick, you want to throw that up here so people can see?
Thanks, post-production team.
So I do really like that. Like the crown is sitting on a pillow. That's what the actual piece is.
Yeah.
And I like to store my gold inside it so people can't see exactly.
Which
how
is
much I have.
borderline cheating.
Borderline.
Borderline cheating.
But hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. There is a thief in this game,
Yeah.
so I'm just playing the role.
Yeah, so I give my components, my component ranking, I give it a 6.
I'm
6.
gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah.
A 6. The crown is really cool. The gold pieces look nice, but they're just simple and basic.
Yeah, there's nothing really special to it.
Yeah. So, they're not gonna be destroyed, but
You might
Wish
lose
there
a
were
piece
more.
here and there, but it's really,
Right.
doesn't matter to me.
Right. So
Pennies.
then, onto the thematics of it.
Yeah, I love hidden roll games. You guys know that. These are my favorite. They just make me happy. Yeah, I love being the thief. I love being the assassin. And gosh dang it, that silly old architect even sometimes can be a little killer, I love playing with Craig and him thinking, oh, you're the king again, aren't you? No, actually, I'm the assassin. See ya. So, I love it. The thematic's 8.
I'll say my favorite role is the architect, but because of that, most of the time I don't get to play it. Because somebody, like you said, likes to be the thief or the assassin, and I can't.
Or the greedy merchant.
Yeah. So, there is a lot of good strategy to this. You're not always going to want to be the same character because it sets you up. And I find I end up near the end of the game always picking either the thief or the assassin, so that way I can go before everybody else and hopefully not be screwed over. I have to agree with you. It's a great game. I give it an 8 because you can play with pretty much anybody. It's a quick. It looks complicated, but
rules
once
are
you
so
play
simple.
one round, everyone's like, "I think I've got this." Except for JP, who didn't understand the scoring system, but
The scoring system is a little difficult. I'll give him that until... Because you really don't know what you're working for until the end.
fair. Your first game may be a little difficult on that, but
but the replayability and the desire to come back and want that next game is there. You're gonna love it.
There's one thing I should have taken a lot of points off. The stupid card where you have to say,
Thanks, Your Excellency is the correct way to say it, but Craig struggles.
yeah, I can't say that word for whatever reason, even though I've tried for multiple years. And so it kind of screws me over. I can't, you have to say that properly to take your turn once that card's played.
If you don't, you lose your turn, you're skipped over.
So once that's played, I pretty much lose.
I think the Great Hall is the correct. I think it's the Great Hall. But
Yeah. So yeah, I think we both agree it's got an 8 on its score.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of different editions out. There's a couple expansions. There's big boxes. There's itty bitty travel boxes. There's medium sized boxes, and all of them. It's the same game. You just might have, like, for instance, the extra crown, or the player cards might be a little larger. Or I mean, all of them are the same base game.
And that's something else. I really love the fact that not only is there the expansions that have 9 new characters.
Yeah.
That makes it feel like a new game, but still similar. You can actually mix and match the characters, which adds a lot. And they even give, I got the one with 2 expansions with it, and it gives these ideas that the creators have done themselves, saying, oh, if you want a really, backstabby game, or if you want a game focused on this type, use these cards. And honestly, that's great on them.
Yeah, it is. They did a great job.
Yeah, so they did not have to do it all. So overall, yeah, that 8, it's fantastic. Definitely give it a shot. You can play multiple rounds.
Yeah, this is one of our favorites. We go to it at any group, any party. It's a good one.
It's fun with just a few people.
Mm-hmm.
You can play with minimum, have fun. And I think there are some games that cater to the party style that if you don't have very many people, it loses its value, kind of, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, you can have the minimal players, or you can have the maximum, and you're still going to have fun with it.
You do. It's really fun to mess people over, though, in small games, not going to lie. I think this game excels.
You get a lot of targeting, then.
Yeah, I think this game excels right around the 5 or 6 player mark.
Yeah.
Everything gets kind of lost in you play up to 8 or 9. 8 or 9, one of those two. But yeah, it kind of gets lost a little bit, kind of watered down. But
maybe we can have the number pop up here of how many people.
Thanks, post-production team.
You can say that every time?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. That's it for this week. Thanks, everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please leave us comments. I love getting to respond back to y'all.
Yeah, that's Craig, not Jacob, by the way. If he ever says anything, it's Craig.
He mostly says that because he doesn't want misspelling to be thrown on him. Sorry, I'm not good at that. Also, I try to go through and pin somebody each week that I think they have a great comment, such as the last video, someone timestamped where our update starts. So I pinned that so everybody could just go through and click there and go straight to the update section. So yeah, compete for that pin. And thanks, guys, for everything y'all do. Have a great one. I'm starting to do the finger guns!